Hey, happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Take a look at your Colorado weather forecast for today. Rinse, lather, repeat here, folks. It's hot, it's dry. Stop me if you've heard that before. Tomorrow, guess what? It's going to be, you guessed it, hot and dry. But it does start to cool on down by Sunday and into your Monday with showers and storms starting to filter the way into the forecast a little bit into the high country for today. Here in the Front Range, I think we're going to stay mostly dry, and we stay dry here in the Front Range for today, tomorrow. By Sunday, though, a few storms around at this point. It's looking more and more likely to me that Sunday will end up being our stormiest day of the Labor Day weekend, but we're not looking at anything too widespread or too wild at this point. But again, the high country up here, I-70 at Loveland Ski Area, this is where we could be talking about a few of those showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon. That'll be the area to watch for in terms of that potential for some of those shower storms. It looks to me like along and north of I-70. I know a lot of people in the high country this weekend. We are heading into the holiday weekend after all. Folks heading up into the high country definitely want to keep an eye to the sky. But again, here along the Front Range, it's probably going to be all right. Meantime, we've got all sorts of insects on this camera here on Fort Collins. That to me, that's got to be a bee, right? That has got to be a bee running around there on the campus of Colorado State University. And it looks like the bees are having a great time on this September the 1st. And hopefully you are as well. Near record heat again for us for this afternoon. By the way, happy start of meteorological fall. And by meteorological fall, it's going to be nearly 100 degrees today. A bit windy for this afternoon and some isolated storms for Sunday. Now, HD Doppler radar, you look up into the high country, that's where we're starting to see a little bit of cloud cover. We've got a trough of low pressure off to our west. We're not really feeling the impacts of that here in Colorado, except for the far western part of the state, on up into kind of Rio Blanco County. That's where you're seeing some of those showers and storms here on this Friday. But those shower storms will slowly push the way just a little bit off to the east. Most of those shower storms will again be along and north of I-74 this afternoon. So if you're heading up to, say, the Park Mountains, or maybe see the Medicine Bow Range, maybe on down to the Front Range, even those mountains, that's where you could be seeing some of those showers and storms for this afternoon. Most of us, though, stay dry. And for us here in the Denver area, closer look in, if you do have an outdoor happy hour planned or an evening jog or stroll, just keep in mind that we're looking at maybe a little bit of cloud cover and maybe one or two little gusty showers. Otherwise, that is pretty much it here, folks. I'm not even putting that chance for a shower storm in the forecast. Looks pretty similar to yesterday, where we're probably going to see a few clouds, maybe one or two of those gusty showers, and that's pretty much it. So I wouldn't plan around it. Let's just leave it at that. So if you've got outdoor plans this evening, no problem, just plan around the heat more than anything else. And speaking of the heat, it is hot. I'm sure you're thrilled to know that it's 90 degrees already for us here in Denver, our third consecutive day at 90 degrees or above. And today we're calling for a high of 97 for us here in Denver. Notice there, bottom left-hand side of your screen, it's going to be a little bit windy at times for us with that southeast wind, 10 to 20 miles an hour. That is going to make it feel a little bit warmer as well. So it's going to be, again, that kind of hot wind. And again, some of those maybe localized bursts of winds that may be a little bit higher than that, up to maybe 30, 40 miles an hour for us around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Forecast highs for today, a lot of 90s. Look at those 100s. How about that for the start of September? 104 in Lamar. So if you're looking for a break from this midsummer heat that we've had over the last couple of weeks, we're not getting it today, no doubt about that, as it's staying on the scorching side across the state. And today already at 90 or above, as I mentioned, that makes it our 33rd day, 90 plus so far this year. We average 46 days at 90 or above that's based on the 30-year average, 1990 to 2020. Long-term average is closer to about 35, 40 days, but in recent years, we've obviously seen things warm on up, and we are looking at those temperatures that are going to once again get to 90 or above this afternoon, already there, as I mentioned. Tonight, it's a mild evening, 65 for a low, and that sunset, notice that 7:30 sunset tonight, our last 7:30 or later sunset until next, I believe it's late April. You're going to have to wait for our next 7:30 or later sunset. So those days are getting shorter and shorter very quickly. Remember that the sunrise sunset times start accelerating as we get right around now. This is when we're losing the most sunlight, and we are seeing that sunlight loss come out here in the form of that 7:30 or later sunset taking place now. Now, tomorrow, 96 degrees for us. Partly sunny and hot. Our record high for tomorrow is 100. We probably don't get there. Today's is, by the way, 98. We got a pretty good shot at getting to that, but tomorrow's 96. That looks a little too far away from the 100. Can't rule it out, but probably won't get there. Meantime, a few 100s out on the eastern plains for tomorrow. A lot of 70s and 80s into the high country. Got this ridge high pressure. The thing is, we're right on the western fringe of that ridge of high pressure. We do have a trough of low pressure off to our east. That's going to stay off to our north and west for the most part. And that trough, as long as that stays to our west, it's going to keep things mostly dry here in Colorado. But a few of those shower storms are going to still trickle their way into the high country. If you're heading out into the western slope or the flat tops, Medicine Bow ranges, Parks, Elkheads, that's where you'll see some of the shower storms maybe tomorrow. But look at these rainfall totals. This is between now and Sunday morning, folks. Not much. Goose eggs for the eastern plains, and for us into the high country, maybe a few spots get a few lucky spots in the high country get a quarter-inch of rain. That will pretty much do it. 7-day forecast. Best chance for storms to me looks to be maybe Sunday, maybe Monday as well. We got a weak front that drops on through. And the exact timing of that front will determine whether or not we're seeing those shower storms more Sunday or Monday. At this point, to me, I'd probably have a slight lean towards Sunday being a bit stormier, but even those storms, we're not talking about, a big hail threat, nothing like what we saw back in May, June, even early July. This looks to be more of our typical afternoon monsoonal showers and storms for Sunday and Monday. Again, I'm not looking at a big severe weather threat either day. We're not talking about necessarily canceling outdoor plans. You don't have to do that, but just keep in mind that if you do have outdoor plans for Sunday or Monday, just might want to have some sort of indoor alternative just in case. Again, we're not talking about anything that's going to be overly widespread. We'd be talking about, at the worst, a quick storm or two for Sunday or Monday, and I think most of us will stay dry both days. So again, nothing to overly concern yourself about with the upcoming holiday weekend. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hey, it's beautiful. First week of September, it is going to be gorgeous out there. A lot of sunshine, dry weather, and that'll continue for most of next week. Now, this was our 7th rainiest summer on record, and I mentioned this yesterday as a reminder that meteorologists, we define the seasons by full months. So June the 1st through August the 31st, that's summer in meteorological terms, just because the exact start date of summer can vary, and fall, the seasons, it can vary. Sometimes it's June 20th, sometimes it's June 22nd. And so for climatological equal climate keeping, we define it by full months. So today's the start of meteorological fall, and going back on summer again. It was our 7th wettest summer on record, and by the way, our wettest summer since 1999. And also, it probably felt like a really cool summer, didn't it? Felt like it was a really kind of cool, cloudy summer, right? It wasn't actually that cool. It was our 80th coolest summer on record. 80th coolest summer on record. So it wasn't actually all that cool after all. But anyway, some fun stats there as we round out summer. Once again, we round out summer and we welcome in meteorological fall with a nice 97-degree day today. Tomorrow, a nice 96-degree day. So if you're looking for hoodie weather, pumpkin spice latte weather, you might want to take a flight up to Alaska. I'm sure up there it's in the 50s or 60s. Here in Colorado, it is certainly not in the 50s or 60s anytime soon. So a couple of takeaways there, but we'll keep you posted. The very latest. I'll have another update for you at 9 News at noon and here on 9 News Plus at 2 p.m. Then we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4 and 5 and Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, and 10. Once again, I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great Labor Day weekend.